Hello, everyone, and welcome to a bonus episode of MPT. Wow, what a day. I gotta tell you, I'm like emotionally all over the place. I've been up since 2:30 this morning. I just got home from work. My landlord is about to come in any second to check my filter. So, like, I gotta keep this thing moving. But I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you to everyone tuning into the bonus pod. If you're here because you listened to the regular MPT that came out this week, it just means a lot to me that you are invested in my journey and David's journey and our journey to find love. So just to quickly recap, sounded like I was on The Bachelor just then, didn't it? I don't know. I'm sleep deprived, clearly. But just to recap, this morning, my fiance David had his interview at the US Embassy in London, something that we have been waiting for 16 months. It sounds so crazy. There has been a mountain of paperwork filed, of lawyers called, of planning and canceling and finding short-term rentals and cars and airplane tickets and just so much just to get to this moment. So I was really stressing yesterday. I was spiraling, even though in my gut, I knew that everything was going to be fine, because most people it's like when you get to the interview part, it's just like semantics at that point, right? They just want to make sure that you're like a functioning human being and that you're not, like strung out. Honestly, I know that sounds kind of harsh, but it's true. Because they already know everything about you. I had to submit my whole tax return, 80 pages of my tax return, police certificates. I mean, you guys, it's insane the amount of things that you have to do. But I woke up this morning at 2:30. David's interview was at 3:30 here in the States, 8:30 in London. And he sent me a picture, outside the US Embassy. And he's like, I'm here. I'm going in. That was at 3:21. I know because the time stamps in my brain. 4:04 is when he got out, and I mean, long story short, his visa was approved. I haven't really sat and like I just haven't really sat with it, because when he called me first, I was half asleep because it was 4 o'clock in the morning. Then got up at 5 to go to the morning show and to talk about it on the air, and like all the adrenaline is really high. And then obviously now too, running in here, trying to do this bonus pod quickly, meeting my landlord outside, and he's like, I gotta come change the filter, Cleto. I just haven't like really sat with it that like it's over. I know it's not over because, we still have the whole green card aspect of things, but like in a matter of days, David is gonna be here living with me. In a matter of a couple of weeks, like, he's going to be my husband. Like, that is so crazy. I'm not scared at all. I mean, I have a million different feelings. I feel relieved. I feel joy. I feel a lot of love. I feel very blessed because it's not just that I have the love of my life, which is, like, great enough. But, like, I have somebody who I mean, I haven't cried yet, and I just buckle up, okay? But, like, to just have somebody that would put their whole life on hold and, like, not have a permanent place to live and not it's just a very difficult situation for someone to go through for years. For years, David did that for me, and a lot of people would not do that. That and the fact that, like, I just have always had the feeling that even though this was really hard, and it came with a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows, that, like, the end would be worth it, and just this feeling of relief, like, really is just so worth it. I just don't even know what to think. He booked his flight. He'll be here on September 30th, and he'll never have to leave, and I think that's, like, just the part I really haven't, like, cried about it yet. So, it's just hitting me But there's been, like, so many goodbyes, and even though you know that they're short and that you'll see him again soon, like, that doesn't make it any easier, and it's like you have so much fun when you are together that the times that you aren't together is just really hard, it's really lonely. And the only other thing that has made me this emotional the past 24 hours, honestly, is like the messages from you guys. I'm losing it. I'm just going to tell you I'm losing it. The messages from you guys have been so just sweet to see how many people, like, just based off of a stupid Instagram page that I started during the pandemic because I was bored and lonely because I couldn't see David, to see how many people, like, care about me and care about him and care about us, like, having our happily ever after. It just, like, I cried reading every single one of your guys' messages, and it just means the world to me, and I know I say it as, like, a cute little catchphrase, "Love you like a sis," but, like, oh my god, I love you guys so much. Truly. And it sounds so stupid, like, it really does, but you guys, like, are my sisters. And don't ever think that you're bugging me in my DMs or whatever, because I really do love talking to each and every one of you. And I didn't, like, set out on this. You guys know I'm not an influencer. I don't make enough money to be an influencer. Um, but I guess I'm just surprised at, something as silly as, like, pop culture commentary has really, like, opened up a community of people for me that make me feel, like, loved. And that is just I just feel very loved on all fronts. My family who have, like, been there for us every step of the way, doing what they can to make it easier. My mom and my sister, my shoulders to cry on. But that's it. He's coming on September 30th. It's done. We're gonna be married in October. And there you have it. And I promise I'm not gonna cry anymore. Okay, let me give you my little Greece rundown before Cleto comes in to change the filter. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. We stayed at the Nisaki Boutique Hotel. It's Nissaki. They have a bunch of different rooms for different prices, but what I really loved about Mykonos is that in the planning process, it was a little difficult because there's not like a Hilton or a Marriott or anything like that. Every hotel in Mykonos is like a boutique hotel. So don't let that scare you off. There's also different hotels with like different price ranges because Mykonos is like notoriously one of the most expensive places in the world. I will say that we booked our hotel for $400 a night, but we did get upgraded to an amazing suite, and breakfast was included, and it was a breakfast buffet, but it was like gourmet breakfast buffet, so that was really nice. In that area, we just walked down the street, and there was like a whole strip of beaches, a whole strip of restaurants, literally, you know, a 1 minute walk from our hotel, so it was really great. But also we got the ATVs. The ATVs are definitely the best way to get around in Greece because they don't have Ubers there. They don't have taxis there. So there was just like there's ATV rentals like on every corner. So we just rented that. It was like $60 a day. And like we used it one day, we took one day off. Then we used it the next day, so it wasn't too much. And we just did that around the island, which was great. It's a great way to get around and a great way to see everything. There's really touristy things like there's this little strip called Little Venice, and then there's the windmills. David and I didn't do it. We went to Mykonos town one night for dinner, and the meal was insane. It was so good, but that definitely was the touristy area, and we're like, it's not necessarily it. So if you're planning a trip to Greece, Mykonos specifically, and you want that, that's great. But if you want a little calmer, the Nisaki boutique in that area is definitely the way to go. I will say that I was very pleasantly surprised because, Mykonos has the party city, party town, party island rep. I did not experience any of that. I mean, really none of that. And it might be because the season technically ends in October, so things were starting to wind down. But it was very relaxing. It was very chilled. So don't let that scare you off when it comes to Mykonos. So there was a seaman strike, and that's the only way to put it. I said what I said, a seaman strike. The ferries didn't go on the day that we needed them to go. So initially we were going to island hop from Greece to Paros, which also is becoming a little bit more popular. It's like just as beautiful as Mykonos, but not as expensive. And we didn't originally want to island hop, but the reason we did it was because we actually couldn't find 4 consecutive nights at one hotel. So we're like, let's just go to Paros. So Wednesday was, sorry, I'm sniffling because my snot, because of crying. But anyways, yeah. Ew, disgusting morgue. I apologize for that. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, we were supposed to island hop on Wednesday. The seaman strike happened because of poor working conditions, and we weren't able to get on the ferry. So at that point, David had travel insurance, which is great. I highly recommend, especially if you're going to island hop because things can go wrong. We just, especially because we were leaving on Friday from Mykonos, it would make no sense to get on a ferry on Thursday. That's an hour ferry from Mykonos to Paros, to get there, to get settled in, to really only have like 6 hours or so to enjoy Mykonos before it became nighttime, then to just turn around, or Paros, excuse me, then to just turn around and go back to Paros the next day. So we stayed in Mykonos and we had no complaints about it whatsoever. It was amazing, chilled. You got to be careful though, because we got scammed. And it's easy for, an American tourist to fall into that trap. What happened was they have day beds there, very nice day beds. They're like big couches, and you can rent one. And we went to a beach one day. It was like 70 pounds or 70 euros, which is like $70. So $35 each for a day bed for a whole day. Fine, whatever. So then we go down to another little beach closer to our hotel, and the guy gets us in, David in. I was upstairs dealing with my travel constipation, which I won't tell you that story. I told you a little bit on the pod. If you've ever been podcasted, if you've ever been constipated in a foreign country, it's not a fun experience. I can handle it in Florida. Handling it in Greece was a little bit more difficult, but we worked it out. Anyways, while I was fixing that issue, David went down to the beach, and the guy was like, free day bed as long as you buy a drink. And so David's like, oh yeah, great. So he goes and he gets a Red Bull, because David doesn't drink. Got me an Aperol. They come in those big mugs, those big like margarita glasses, right? And I'm like, oh, that's got to be expensive. I heard our little neighbors on the daybed say that they were $60 a drink. And at first I was like, what? $60 a drink? Are you kidding me? But then I was like, okay, we're not big drinkers. This will last us all day. It's fine. David ordered another one. I don't know why. So we ended up paying $200, right? But we're just thankful that we didn't get scammed worse, because we looked up this place afterwards. I mean, thousands of negative reviews. They were actually fined $30,000 by the government in Greece because they were ripping off American tourists. We saw this one article where a couple stopped in for 2 drinks and oysters, just as like a little tied over $900 tab. I noticed, because I was thinking about getting food while I was there, and I noticed he wouldn't show me a menu. He had a menu tucked up underneath his arm, and he was like, oh, we have salad and fries, and what do you want? What do you want? I'll make you whatever you want. I'm like, I want to see a menu. And he would not let me see the menu. And so at that moment, I was like, I'm not ordering food from this place. The drink was $60. Who knows how much the food is going to be? And he's got a death grip on that menu underneath his armpit. I'm never going to see it. So 3 drinks, $200 sucks. But also, did a little bit of girl math. I was like, look, we didn't pay for the beds. The drink lasted me all day. So I would have paid close to $200 anyways, right? That's the best way to not cry for spending $200 on 3 drinks. But yeah, had the time of my life. We rented a boat, just the 2 of us, and it was only like $250 for 4 hours, and you can drive the boat. You don't need a license, which is kind of scary, but they give you the rundown. Lots of amazing things to do. So I highly recommend trip to Greece if you want to go there. They did say the off season was October through February, so you might have to plan it for next year. But yeah, if you have any further questions, hit me in the DMs. Sorry, you guys were my little therapist today, but I mean, my God, I love you. I love you so much. Some would say like a sis, like familia, because I do. Thank you for coming along the journey with me. Next up, we're getting married, baby, in 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Yep. All right. Have a great day. Love you like a sis.